Hey there, welcome back. Jeremy here. How you doing? I missed you. Thanks for joining me. Today's video is going to be a little controversial because I'm going to talk about my beliefs, and I believe that they're just different than some other people's beliefs. Please know that I'm not saying anything against any other religious system or any other beliefs. Your beliefs are yours for a reason. They're not mine for a reason. We're not all on the same path here. We all have different things to learn on this earth plane. So keep that in mind. That's part of my belief. Nothing I say here is to go against anybody on anything, and I, with respect, ask that you also have respect towards me and my beliefs, and don't get all crazy in the comments saying only this is correct, only that's correct, this is wrong and that's wrong, this is what I believe. I'm not here to start a fight. It's important to me to let you all know who I really am, so that you can really know me. And to be honest, I've told my family this is a conversation I've never had with my family. So I've told them that my social media space is for me to be fully expressed as myself, and if they want to get to know me better as who Jeremy really is, that's where to find the information. So welcome, family. If you're here, I love you to death, of course. Welcome those of you who aren't family. I love you to death too, because that's just what I do. Who's all about unconditional love here? Yes? Anybody's got their hands up? Sorry about the noise. I am outside. There's going to be a bunch of airplanes going by and cars driving as well. That is okay. Okay, guys. Yeah, so what's the controversy? Well, let's start where I began. I grew up in the church, in the Nazarene Church, which is a Protestant Christian denomination. And I was taught everything that had to do with Jesus in the Bible from very beginning in Sunday school, directly from my parents. Everybody in my experience, everybody was a churchgoer or in the church. I didn't have any experience with anybody outside of who was at school, who was at church, and I went to a Christian school connected to my church. So I lived a pretty sheltered life and didn't know what else was out there. I just knew that I was unhappy, and I knew in my heart that God didn't want me to be unhappy, and the Bible left too many unopened questions. I'm grateful to know now that I have found the answers to all of my questions. You can't find them all in the Bible, unfortunately, not in its current condition, let's say. Let's start there. As far as the Bible is concerned, isn't it great? There's nothing wrong with the Bible. I'm not here to say anything wrong about the Bible, but it's not for everybody. That's for people who are looking for that type of information, or that type of healing, or that type of saving. By the way, I don't believe anybody needs to be saved for anything. That's not why we're here. You're perfectly perfect the way you are. You always have been, and you always will be. So there is no judgmental God happening up there. God is unconditional love. He cannot be anything but unconditional love. And that's hard for us to understand. I understand that. Here on this earth plane, we've divided love into 17 different categories, and many of which are negative. The broken heart, the love from a parent. I didn't feel the love that I thought was love from my parents, that sort of thing. I'm not saying about my personal experience, but we've learned thinking that everything's love. I have to hug my grandma, my grandpa, even though I don't know them, because it's the thing to do, because we love them. Did I have a compassionate feeling of appreciation for my grandparents? No, I didn't have enough time with them to be able to do that. I'm one of 5 kids, so that could be part of the reason, but I wasn't close to any of my grandparents, and that's okay. So I've got my glasses off. I've got a bunch of notes here because I want to make sure I touch everything that I've thought about touching on. First thing here is I've got a list of I don't believes and a list of I do believes. So on the I don't believe page, it says, I don't believe God requires that we make our lives totally about Him. Now this is, any normal person out in the world would probably agree with that, because they're not stuck in religion. I don't want to say a negative word about anybody. I don't want to say stuck in religion, but they didn't have religion telling them that they have to be all about God, and if you're not, you're all about the devil. So yeah, and I know there are fluctuations of beliefs in between of that, depending on who you are and what your upbringing is, or what your background is, what you've come to learn here on your own experiences. So keep that in mind. But He's perfectly happy for those of us who are running around doing our own things. I have a very strong connection to God, that which is God. For the longest time, I had to take the word God out of my vocabulary entirely. I was a kid who grew up in the church. As soon as puberty came along, day one, I knew I was noticing the boys, not the girls. So I knew that I was a gay kid. There was nothing in the Bible that said it was okay. Nothing, and nobody who was teaching or preaching, or my parents, I didn't know anybody who was gay. My parents mentioned one or two people here or there. My mom had a friend in college who ended up being gay or whatever, and they're a sinner, so we're praying for them, that sort of thing. But I had nobody to tell me that it was going to be okay just to be gay. I believe those of us who are wearing the robe of gayhood, how's that, in this lifetime, came with the intention to be different. Because there's so much to learn between you and everybody else when things are so different and things are difficult, let me tell you. We chose to have difficult situations here intentionally, knowing that it would provide a great opportunity for expansion and growth. And so I believe that wholeheartedly. I like the idea that before we come here, we sit with God, and we decide, I want to meet this person at this time to have this experience. I want to meet this person to have this experience. I want to have this type of experience. I want to have that type of experience. All the ups and downs, right? And on this earth plane, things are not easy. Let me tell you, I have lived through every negative experience you can possibly think of. Pretty much. And I've grown because of it. Every single time I make new decisions for myself. Every single time I'm down and out. That's a wake-up call for me to say, okay, this isn't working. What I've been doing is not working. What can I do different to take this with me as a learning experience instead of trauma? So I'm grateful that I've been able to do that through my experiences here on Earth. Let's see. So let's get to the second one here. I don't believe that what we know as the Bible nowadays is complete. What that means is I believe that way back in the old ancient Roman Catholic days, when people were deciding what was going to be the Bible, what was going to be the book, decided what was going to be in it and what wasn't going to be in it. I believe that changes were made for things that were intended a certain way when they were written, that lost their intention that way. I believe some things that were empowering for us have been taken out because those who were in control at that time period in the Roman Empire, control of the public is what they were looking for. That was their agenda. It was not to give people the empowerment to believe that they are one with God, and they are one with Jesus, and that they are powerful beings. I'm here to teach you that now. That is who we are. That being said, at puberty, around puberty time, I had to make a decision for myself that because there was nothing in there showing God's grace and God's love, saying that everything was going to be okay, I wasn't being preached to about that. I wasn't being told it was going to be all right. I didn't. There's this whole devil and heaven and earth situation that I believe was created by the church. Now, I'm going to get some controversy here, I know, from those who have beliefs that are different. Guess what? I'm grateful for you and your beliefs because they work for you. That's important. Your belief is everything. God said it, Jesus said it, faith is everything. Whatever you believe in is what you're going to experience. So I'm grateful that I'm at a place where I have a knowing that we are empowered beings. That's not what I was going to say here. Let's get back to, so I was a teenager in the church. I had to make a decision that, okay, the Bible works for some people. Okay, if you're straight, Bible works for you. If you're gay, the Bible doesn't work for you. Now, I'm older than I look. I'm about to have a birthday. I'm going to let you guys guess how old I'm going to be. I'll hopefully make a video about it in the next few days. So back then, there wasn't as much out. We didn't have the internet yet, so there wasn't an availability to go out and learn from other people who've had experiences like yours on a quick basis like we have now. I'm so grateful we have what we have now. So I didn't have anywhere to go but to separate myself emotionally, vibrationally from that which was, in my mind, religion, because I knew that I had God within me and that we were close. I just didn't know that everything was going to be okay. I couldn't agree with the thought that because I was designed this way, I didn't make a choice to be gay, just so you know. How many gay people do you know? Have you asked them? How many of them chose to be gay? Now, everybody's had a different experience, so I understand that as well. Not everybody's experience is the same for coming out either. But it was not something I wanted. It was something I thought was dreadful, something I thought was disgusting, something I thought was evil, something that basically I didn't understand because I was being taught all this negativity about it. Even with those words that weren't being said, it was taught. Does that make sense? Sometimes things are taught without things being said. I had in my mind that this being gay was the ultimate sin that was unforgivable, even though there is no unforgivable sin, mind you. And that there was no solution for it. There was no solution for it anywhere. All I knew about was going to be brain fried by somebody in a, correction facility, where they change the gays back into believers and that sort of thing. I'm against all of it. I did have some invitations with my parents when I was coming out. So that was my decision. I'm separate from religion because I need to learn how to accept myself for who I am with everything I was given. And that I, being the good kid, I was a pastor's kid. Did you know that? I was a minister's kid. I considered myself one of the good people, one of the good kids. Compared to everybody else, I wasn't lying, I wasn't cheating, I wasn't cursing, I wasn't doing anything that the other kids were doing. So I was like, why would God throw me in hell? Let's talk about hell for a moment, shall we? Hell. God created our universe, and it's amazing. It's perfect just the way it is. God created our planet and our experiences. I don't mind the idea of heaven because it's an uplifting feeling. It feels good to think about it. That for me is a notification of what the truth is for me. If it feels good when I think about it, that way I know it's aligned with my godly self, my higher self, if you will. So thinking about the devil and Satan, thinking about hell, why would God choose, God who is unconditional love, choose to send people to a terrible place? My God is not a God of punishment. He's not a God of judgment. That's one of the biggest differences between what I believe and my religious friends. I say religious friends. Some people don't like being called religious. My Christian friends, everybody I grew up with, my family, my old friends in the church. God bless you. So, sorry, I lost track, but that's okay. So the devil and hell was made up by the Roman Catholic Church. Why? To give you something to fear. Fear is a huge controller of the entire world right now. Anybody connected to Christian beliefs and the devil and hell, it's all based on fear, and God is not in fear. Now, you could say God is everywhere and everything, and I believe that. But when you feel fear, you are completely out of alignment with your true godly self. That's why it feels bad. That's how you know it feels terrible. Some people like to be scared. I'm not one of those people. You will never catch me in front of a scary movie, just so you know. But so hell. Now, I believe people, when they pass from this place, if you've ever looked at near-death experiences that are online and things like that, I love that sort of thing. The mystery of what can happen to us as we pass on from this place is unending. It's like there could be a billion different experiences depending on who you are, what condition you're in when you go, what your mindset is when you go, when you cross over, what your beliefs are when you're here. I don't believe there's a fiery, burning place. Some people would say Earth is the fiery, burning place because there's so many difficulties here. I kind of agree with that, but I have the freedom of knowing that there is no condemnation for anything, and there never will be. Not from God. Okay? I also love knowing that there is no punishment for God either. Now, that's not to say that if you did something that you felt was bad, that something bad could come from that experience. That's a word called karma that Christian folks don't really care for too much. Not that this video doesn't need to be all about them. It's just showing you clearly where I come from, and where all my family is and all that. Bless them. What was I saying? Karma. Look it up. It's a word. There's a balance where you live in a cyclical place where the good and the bad flows back and forth. Now, you don't have to call anything good or bad. Those who are enlightened are the ones who speak about there not being anything good or bad, because you can be friends with all of it. This is my goal. I'm here to become an enlightened one, and the belief that all of it serves a purpose. All of the negative or the bad things that have happened to me have come with a lesson for me to learn. And I know that I probably asked for them before I got here. And so that was all part of the plan. All part of the plan. All of it is part of the plan. For instance, I guess I don't need to get into that now. Well, that'll come up later. Let's get back to our questions here. I don't think that God wants us to be unhappy either. I have spent some time with my family, my sister and them, nephews, and from where I am, I'm a very positive person. It is my full intention to be the most positive person that I can be. And I've done a lot of work to release all the old negative junk in my belief system that was taught to me by others, to release those ideas so that I can find peace with who I am and peace in the world around me. What was I saying about that? I was saying that, so I spent time with my family, and from my perspective, these people in my family, God bless them, were so unhappy compared to me. Now, they're probably living pretty good lives compared to others who might be having terrible, terrible life experiences. And I understand that too. Everything's your own perspective, right? What do you think about it? Can you step back and say, well, in general, life is good. I'm glad that I'm here, right? Hopefully you can have that healthy standpoint. I wish that for you if you don't have it now. So they may not say, my family may not say that we're not negative, but they're a very unhappy people. Why? The Bible, religion, doesn't teach you how to be happy. Doesn't teach you exercises to keep you happy. It keeps you dependent on someone or something that is pure positive energy to do things for you, to bring things to you. Now, I'm not saying that spirits don't exist. Of course they do. God is one of them. I think we all come from God, and we all are a part of God. That's why God is everywhere in everything, even this table, even this chair. But back to believing the belief that you need to depend on somebody else for your safety, for your saving. First of all, there's nothing that needs to be saving from. There's nothing you need to be saved from. Now, I understand maybe in the Bible, back 2,000 years ago, when everybody felt like they needed some deliverance from where they were, or rescuing from the situations they were having, or an escape to a better life, or whatever it is, that the word saving, savior, was brought into the picture. But if God thought we all need to be saved, He'd be here saving us Himself, don't you think? I'm just saying it. And that wasn't the best point. That wasn't the best point. I don't think I'm smiling enough in this video, guys. If I don't smile, I don't look pretty. Let's go on here. I believe that Jesus came to show us unconditional love in action. He was somebody who became fully aligned with God and unconditional love, right? Probably the closest we've seen in our last 2,000 years of somebody that close to what we would consider to be God. And so there's that. Now, keep in mind, I have a belief that God, I treat God, Jesus, like an ascended master, not as the Son of God. When Jesus was saying, I am the Son of God, He was saying, we are all sons of God. That is a mantra for you to say, I am the Son of God. All of us are empowered that way, if you're willing to believe it. And if you're not, guess what? Life's not as fun for you. Life's not as good for you. Life's not as easy for you. This empowerment has benefits. I'm not just saying because it's beneficial, but so unconditional love. Jesus was all of it, and that's all we need. I focus on unconditional love no matter what, and if a condition pops up and I don't feel good about something, all that means is my past experience has taught me to be fearful of this, or that's something you don't want to experience again, or that's something I don't feel good about. My job in He who would like to be enlightened is to take that and pour some syrup on top of it, right, to make it feel good. How do I do that? You have to release the fear. I'm afraid of nothing. I say that, 100%. I have fear of nothing. I don't have any. Why? Because I don't have anything to fear. And with that belief that I have nothing to fear, I am not given experiences to be fearful of. Does that make sense? I don't know if you all believe in the law of attraction, you've ever heard of it, manifesting what it is you desire in this world. What you put out is what you get back, right? Does that make sense? Anything you stay focused on is what you're going to be experiencing. Anything you stay focused on is what you're going to be experiencing. So when I have a thought that tends to take my attention, that doesn't feel good, and I think about it longer than a minute, I say, wait, Jeremy, this is not what you want to be investing your energy into, because you don't want to bring that into your life. I release it with love. I release it. I'm letting it go. I can think about something else. And I think about something else that feels better. That's my way of getting around that. Does that make sense? Let's get back to my questions here. I believe that religious rulership, if you will, and I'm saying this kind of comical, but I believe the truth of who we are and what we are is here now, and it's coming to us, and it's might be something that I dedicate the rest of my life to, showing the rest of the world the truth of what is, the truth of who you are. Nothing that has, and it has nothing to do with the structure of religion, and there are many good reasons for that, and I'll explain that as time goes by. You can drop some questions down below. Just be respectful, please, of course. I don't want anybody starting fights down there. So yeah, I believe my purpose. I've been asking what my purpose is for my entire life, and I've learned more this past year about who I am and what I'm meant to do here. I still don't have it all figured out yet, but I've more in this past year than ever. And I now currently believe that I am somebody who is here to speak. I don't want to say against, because I'm not against anything. To speak above, we'll say speak above the beliefs of religion, because I live the truth. I live the truth, and my job is to show you guys how, just like Jesus did. Me and Jesus, we like this. Jesus is my recent go-to, and you'll all understand more about that later, I suppose. Yeah. The binds that have held people with religious backgrounds in negativity and fear is on its way out. It has to. Our whole planet is raising its vibration, and has been for the last, 10, 20 years, as we've been drifting out of this negative place. You can see the remains of it still playing themselves out with the president and all that fun stuff too. But it's all got to be shed in order for us to raise up to the vibration of us having heaven on earth once again. Something we've been wanting for a very long time. And so the structures of those religions will be broken down by people like me. That doesn't mean I'm here to battle against anyone or anything. Some people might say I'm a spiritual warrior. If I'm living in unconditional love, am I a warrior? No, I'm a lover. And I'm not here to condemn anybody, because there is no condemnation. Okay? There's no condemnation. And there never will be. All of that is a human mental construct. The human mind is judgmental. The human mind can feel guilt or shame or unworthiness or any of those things. And if anybody teaches that, I have to say I'm against it. But am I against anything? Really? Am I? No. Because I don't have to spend time in those places where those beliefs are being circulated. I choose not to. And I don't watch TV. I don't watch many movies. My favorite movies, believe it or not, really are like the Tinkerbell movies, where everything's beautiful and fun and gorgeous and beautiful singing and happiness, and because I believe that I'm here, I'm meant to be that person who is full of joy, full of love, full of life, to inspire others to know that they can do that too. Does that make sense? Let me see, is there anything else here? Perfect. I think I've covered all of it. When Jesus said, now keep in mind, I don't trust everything that's in the Bible that is written because of dirty hands getting in and deciding what they wanted the public to see, and taking out some of the very important stuff and changing things to be aligned with what they were, their agenda. Does that make sense? But in the verses of the Bible where Jesus says the only way to heaven is through me, I'm totally paraphrasing and I'm not getting that right at all, I know this. Jesus was speaking as an example, giving you something to say, something to believe about yourself. This is what I believe. Jesus was telling you the only way to heaven or God is through the self, through yourself. Going within. God lives within you. God is in here, in your heart. And so the only way to drop all of the junk from the earth, from the world, is to focus inward. This is where holiness is. This is where God resides. It's within you. So I believe that's what he was saying when that verse came along. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out as well. So, okay. Now, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, but definitely, please be respectful. I'm not here to start arguments. If arguments do show up, I may or may not include myself in those to bring peace. I'm a peacemaker, not a fighter. And so I appreciate you being the same way. Does that make sense? I'm not going out and bombing your social media and telling you what I believe because I believe is right. No. I am open to what you believe to be right for you. And that's perfectly okay. I'm perfectly okay with it. I've got no problem with it. So I'd appreciate if you do the same with me. Know that if what I was saying that are my beliefs here are different than what yours are, to be okay with that and let it go. Don't come here for a fight because you won't find one. I'll say that. But I love you all, and I'm realizing with this job that I have here, being on the internet, I want to connect with you guys better. I don't know what you guys are looking for, what you guys like to talk about. This hopefully will spur some new questions. If you have any questions about this stuff, put them below and I'll make a video about it. We'll talk about it. Okay? We'll do it in unconditional love. We'll do it in peace. And all will be well. Okay? I love you. I wish you the best. Hope you're having a great day. Have a good day. Bye.